Production support for award-winning News 6 has come from Whirlpool Corporation's Finley Division, working to make your life a little easier. Additional support has come from the Northwest Ohio Educational Technology Foundation and from this public television station.
We're from Elida Middle School in Elida, Ohio. This is News 6.
This week on News 6, we'll talk with a lady who creates doll-sized rooms, learn about the art of baton twirling, and meet a talented young gymnast.
Hi, and welcome to News 6. I'm Chad Tooker from Elida Middle School in Elida, Ohio. Here with our first story is Nai-Hee Kim.
We met a lady recently who's really into making miniature dollhouses and furniture. While we were at her home, she told us all about her interesting hobby.
Mary Lee Makeley has been hand-making dollhouses and display rooms since 1980. She has an assortment of wooden display rooms with glass fronts displaying miniature furnishings. The rooms include a dining room, kitchen, bedroom, and even a backyard scene. Mrs. Makeley, how did you get interested in making miniatures?
Well, I went to a hobby shop one day here in the Lima Mall, and I saw this house, and I just decided it had to be mine. So I bought it, and that's how I started, and that was in 1980.
What kind of materials do you use, and where do you get them?
Mostly for the construction of the boxes and stuff, I just use regular half-inch pine. But when I make the furniture, then I have to go into the modeling stuff like your balsa wood.
The display cases look very interesting. Do you make them or do you buy them?
Make them. Make all my own display cases.
The rooms look complicated, and how long does it take you to make one?
Well, I usually have 3 projects going at a time so that if I can't get materials for one, I can work on another one. And I'd say the art gallery took me over a year, but most of them 3-4 months.
What do you enjoy most about this hobby?
The wood, making the furniture and the wood.
The plates and lamps look very interesting. Do you make those or do you buy them?
Some of the lamps I make and some of them I buy, but most of the time I try to make as much of my own stuff as I can because it's more interesting, it's more personal.
Thank you, Mrs. Makeley, for letting us come to talk to you today.
Today's show is being produced by Mrs. Barbara Sandy's 6th grade class at Elida Middle School in Elida, Ohio. Elida is located about 5 miles from Lima and was founded in 1852. The town's current population is 1,349.
Baton twirling is something that many people enjoy watching and doing. Janice Jones and her baton corps, the Janice Twirlers, are so good. They have won over 200 trophies and competitions and plan on winning many more.
Janice, how long have you been involved in twirling, and what made you decide you wanted to be a baton teacher?
I was a majorette for Elida High School for 3 years, and I've taught for over 20 years. I now have Janice Twirlers Drum and Baton Corps. We've been twirling for 19 years. The reason why I decided to start my baton corps is because after my last parade, I still wanted to march in parades. So that's why I kept going with that.
How many students do you have, and what age are they?
I have over 130 students now, and they're from age 4 to 18.
How many parades do you attend to each year?
We attend around 15 parades. The farthest is Defiance.
How many trophies do you have, and is there one that means a lot to you?
We've won over 200 trophies. My favorite would be St. Mary's. We won the best overall unit for the best marching unit in the whole parade. Oh, also, every time my students take 5 years, each one of them get to pick a trophy and take home with them to keep.
Do you have a percussion section, and who is the instructor?
Yes, I do. We have 11 drummers we march and a glockenspiel player. And my husband, Wally, he's in charge of the drum section. And I involve the whole family. My son, Scott, he plays drums for me. And my younger son, Jeff Jones, he is my drum major for me.
Thank you for your cooperation, Janice, and I'm sure we'll be seeing you in many parades this summer.
From our own Elida Middle School comes 4 feet of dynamite named Becky Janelle. Even though she started in gymnastics only a few years ago, she's got big dreams of making it to the Olympics someday.
Becky, how did you get started, and how many years have you been in gymnastics?
I started about 3 years ago when my sisters took me outside in the yard, flipped me around, and I guess my sisters, Barb and Beth, were in gymnastics, and I guess I got interested too.
About how many medals have you won?
Probably close to about 50 medals, and I'm proud of my vaulting champion award in class 2.
How long do you practice a day?
Probably 4 hours, close to 4 hours a day.
What are some of the events that you are in, and why do you like these events?
I'm all around, bars, beam, floor, and vault. I like them just to do it, I guess.
What do you want to accomplish with this sport?
I want to become an elite gymnast. Elite gymnast is on the standards of an Olympic gymnast, and if I be good enough, I want to go to the Olympics.
Thank you, Becky, for talking with us.
You're welcome.
That's all for this week's show. Join us next time when News 6 travels to Stryker, Ohio.
Production support for award-winning News 6 has come from Whirlpool Corporation's Finley Division, working to make your life a little easier. Additional support has come from the Northwest Ohio Educational Technology Foundation and from this public television station.